Welcome to the final festival tournament.
Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Darth Cinema. Sorry I haven't uploaded this video earlier. I've been currently trying to get over a massive sickness I had. I've been working on Black Friday. Obviously, I wasn't able to get the episode yesterday, and I was very busy with my family today. But as promised, here is my look at RWBY Volume 3, Chapter 4, Lessons Learned, or as I like to call this episode, Time for Backstory! Sorry I had to make that reference. If you get that reference, you're awesome. Anyway, so this episode had just this was simple in terms of the other episodes. There wasn't really a lot going on except for like these few big things. It was all felt very segmented, and in that way it was good. It's good for me to talk about that. So the first one, I think, obviously hurt me the most. It was Emerald and Mercury versus Coco and Yatsuhashi from Beacon. Now, I think every single one of us, when we watched this fight, knew how it was going to end. I just didn't know how badly they were going to get their asses kicked. Anyone can tell you, when we saw the finale to Season 2 and we saw Team Coco in action, these guys were awesome. We know they're a year ahead of RWBY and the gang, so they're much more experienced in fights, but you wouldn't tell from this because they lost, and they lost bad. Mercury and Emerald didn't even look like they were trying in this case, but still, well done as a fight. It showcased a lot of their abilities as far as for semblance. I believe the only thing that really kind of just made me question was, why did Coco see that that illusion of Yatsuhashi in the forest when we already know he was in the, what would you call that? Not volcanic area, that, steam area of the arena. But it was good. It was a good fight. I think I'm hesitant to call it a fantastic fight, even though I want to, but I'm hesitant because, we know they're the bad guys, and the bad guys are winning. I don't like it when the bad guys win. But from a technical standpoint, the fight was actually really well done. So kudos to the animation team. We got to see different characters and different styles of fighting. It was really interesting to watch, and now we got a better grasp of how other characters go about fighting. So the next big thing that we have is, obviously we have the biggest revelation is about Weiss's semblance. So originally we thought Weiss's semblance was just with her glyphs. Technically, we were partly right with that. This conversation goes on between Weiss and her sister Winter, as it looks like they're having tea and biscuits. Wow, that just seems really cliche. But anyway, we find out about, this is the more caring side of Winter. She's tough but fair, and she does care for Weiss very deeply. As an older sister, and as someone who has an older sister, I can definitely see that. I have a sister who's very much like Winter. Not as tough, because she ain't in the military, but we were raised by my father. My biological father is a retired Marine, so yeah, I'm definitely proud of that. But you can tell if you see my family. Anyway, where was I getting at? Yes, the semblance. Weiss's semblance, we find out the main portion, it's hereditary, number one, so that's interesting. We find out that semblances can be hereditary as well as just abilities that you can get, apparently. We don't know about, RWBY's or Yang's. Yang's looks like it's hereditary from her mother, at least from the eyes, but I'm getting off track. My main point is that we find out that Weiss's semblance and the Schnee semblance is summoning. That they can summon constructs of Grimm, of fallen enemies, to serve them. It looks like they're made of ice, which that is fantastic. I love ice powers. I would love to have ice powers. And coming from a guy who lives up north, that really doesn't surprise me. I love skiing, I love snowboarding, so yeah, I'd want ice powers, please. Then we cut to probably the funniest portion is Crow and RWBY playing video games. And Crow is kicking everybody's ass. So, this also provides a little bit of backstory because we kind of get to find out a little bit more about Crow because he fills him in on his last mission. And it got me as well as it got Yang. But it started out like Crow's walking into this inn filled with the scum of the world. All I can think of is that line from A New Hope from Star Wars. You will never find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy. So he walks in, he says that I was defeated by the size of the waitress's mini skirt. He gets a pillow thrown in his face by Yang because he distracted her and won. But we also get to see how Crow raises RWBY and Yang, how he treats them, essentially. He doesn't boast. He's very, very down to earth about them. He tells it how it is. When Yang and RWBY are kind of saying, hey, we stopped a train, like we saved Vale, he's like, yeah, I remember that a Grimm invasion happened after you almost stopped a train. So he looks at the big picture. He doesn't, like to just focus on the positive. He focuses on the negative as well. He seems like a very balanced person in that regard. And he also points out probably one of the biggest things that probably none of us have noticed this season was ever since the end of season 2, there's been literally no White Fang activity. It's stopped. Crime has stopped everywhere, and that's interesting, which makes me a little bit excited for what Adam and Cinder have planned. We know Cinder's infiltrating Beacon with Emerald and Mercury, but we don't know what Adam's doing with the White Fang. Hopefully we'll get some resolution with that. We might have a revolution, but hopefully we'll get some resolution with that later down the line. And another thing is we do get to know the name of Crow's team. It is no longer just called Crow's team. It is called Team Stark. Make your Tony Stark joke here. With Summer Rose, Tai Yang, Raven, and Crow. It's actually a pretty good name. STRQ. So, and we noticed something interesting because there's a scene where when he shows the photo, Yang kind of focuses on Raven, and Crow's thumb moves to cover her face. Obviously, we know that the woman from the end of Volume 2 who rescues Yang from Neo, we know that's Yang's mother, and this photo really confirms it. The sword, the katana is very similar, the clothes are similar, the hair is similar. It's all there. So, whether Crow covered it up as whether it was just accidental or he intentionally covered her face, that has yet to be determined, whether or not he knows that Raven is still alive. So, and then we cut right back to Winter and Weiss. Winter's trying to help Weiss summon, but obviously Weiss can't do it. She said that's the one thing she can't do. And it kind of comes to a head when Winter realizes like she's bothered by something, and we find out that her dad, Weiss's dad, cut her money, and that Winter was in a very similar situation when she joined the military. And she asks Weiss, well, what have you done to upset him this time? And we know that Weiss did not answer his call back, I believe it was during the first episode. So, and this was a very similar situation. Winter apparently knows everything about this because she was in the exact same position when she left to join the military. And it seems when Winter offered her the choice to either, continue doing what she was here in Beacon, or call him and beg him for the money back, because she's a spoiled brat. Let's all get that out of the way. Weiss is a spoiled brat, as much as we love her now. Weiss gets extremely angry, points her sword at the ground, and a glyph starts appearing, much larger and brighter than before. So her sister says that the choice is open to her, but it's obvious that the choice that she wants her sister to make is to explore Beacon and explore the Remnant on her own. That she doesn't need that they don't need their father or his money for their lives. So hopefully we'll get to see Weiss's father in the future, because I want to know just how strained is this relationship with the family. Is it that bad that just both sisters are having this problem? And as they're walking off on their separate ways because Winter is leaving, we do pan over and we do see that Weiss managed to summon a sword. A small sword near a caterpillar, but it was a sword nonetheless. So we have Weiss waving goodbye to Winter, and finally we get that one moment where Weiss's father gives her a call. She hesitates for a moment before shutting off the phone, making her choice to stay in Beacon, which, as far as character progression for Team RWBY, Weiss has been probably one of the most interesting ones, especially for a character that I thought I was going to hate in this episode, in this series. But first impressions, don't always just go by the first impressions. It gets better. Anyway, so that was Volume 3, Episode 4, Lessons Learned. Hopefully we don't get another 2-week hiatus before the next episode, but if we do, I'll see if I can post another video coming up real soon. I have a plan to do a special 2-part live stream on the Doctor Who season finale called Heaven Sent and Hell Bent. Usually I don't do Doctor Who, but since I've been following this season very closely, and I was recently on a Doctor Who podcast, it seems like unfair that I don't at least give my thoughts on Heaven Sent and Hell Bent. Well, Heaven Sent was a fantastic episode, but I'll get my full thoughts on that soon. Hopefully we'll upload it sometime this week before Hell Bent gets released. So my name is Darth Cinema. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you do, please be sure to hit a like button, because we do have some people going and leaving a massive amount of dislikes. It would mean the world to me if you guys would do this. Please consider subscribing for more content, and I will see you guys in my next video. Take care, and see you later.